So, what if I told you that the very foods you're choosing to be healthy are actually the ones silently wrecking your heart? Okay, let's dive right into this because what we're about to uncover could seriously change the way you look at your grocery cart forever.
I'm talking about things you probably eat all the time. That morning granola bar, right? That glass of fruit juice you think is so good for you. Or even that quote-unquote healthy whole wheat bread. We're told these are the right choices, but the truth? Well, it's a lot more complicated and frankly, a lot scarier.
Here's the core issue. Marketing slogans like natural, low-fat, or heart-healthy, they've become shields. They're hiding ingredients that are actively contributing to the #1 killer on the planet, heart disease. It's time we pulled back that curtain.
Now, before we start naming names, we've got to understand what's actually going on inside our bodies, inside our arteries. Because once you see this process, you'll never, ever look at a food label the same way again.
Just think of your arteries as these busy, bustling highways. It really happens in 3 simple steps. First, the wrong kinds of food create these tiny, sticky particles of what we call bad cholesterol, or LDL. They're small enough to invade and sneak into the walls of your artery highway. Then, your body sees them as foreign invaders and launches an all-out attack. This battle creates a ton of inflammation. And over time, that constant battle zone builds up into what we call plaque, which hardens and narrows the highway, creating one heck of a traffic jam for your blood.
And here's what's so incredibly dangerous about this. Your arteries can be up to 70% blocked before you feel a single thing. Not one symptom. No chest pain, no shortness of breath, nothing. The damage is happening silently for years, long before any alarm bells start ringing.
Okay, so with that in mind, let's unmask some of these enemies. We're about to look at a real rogues gallery of foods that are probably sitting in your pantry right this second, all pretending to be good for you.
This is a classic bait and switch. Food manufacturers take the fat out of yogurt, but guess what? That removes all the flavor and the creamy texture. So, what do they do to make it taste good again? They just dump in a mountain of sugar, sometimes as much as 25 grams in a single serving. You think you're making a healthy, low-fat choice, when you're really just eating a sugar bomb.
Here's another one that gets almost everybody. You see whole wheat on the label, and you feel great about your choice. But the truth is, most of these breads are made from flour that's been pulverized into such a fine powder that it spikes your blood sugar just as fast as plain old white bread. It's refined flour in a clever disguise.
And believe me, the list goes on and on. That packaged fruit juice, it's basically sugar water. All the healthy fiber has been stripped right out. Those granola bars? Come on, they're just candy bars with better marketing. And don't even get me started on salad dressings and vegetable oils, which are often loaded with hidden sugars and inflammatory omega-6 fats that are literally fueling that fire inside your arteries.
Okay, I know, that was a lot of bad news. But here's where the story takes a really hopeful turn. Because if food can be the problem, it can absolutely be the cure. Your kitchen can become your own personal pharmacy.
And this is so crucial to understand. The very same thing that can cause all this damage, food, is also the single most powerful tool you have to heal yourself and to prevent this from ever happening.
So who are the heroes in this story? We're talking about fatty fish like salmon and sardines, packed with anti-inflammatory omega-3s, berries, which are just loaded with antioxidants, that amazing extra virgin olive oil, leafy greens like spinach and kale, and of course, good old-fashioned whole oats with all that amazing cholesterol-grabbing fiber.
I want to pause on this for a second because it's so important. The omega-3s you find in fatty fish, they don't just prevent damage. The research is showing they can actually help reduce existing plaque. They lower your triglycerides, they help prevent blood clots, they're like an active cleanup crew for your arteries.
And just look at the power of a simple habit. One study found that by adding just 1 serving of leafy greens, just a handful of spinach a day, you can reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease by a whopping 16%. I mean, that's a massive return on a very small investment.
So, knowing all this, how do you actually put it into practice without getting totally overwhelmed? Let's boil it all down into a super simple guide. Think of it as a cheat sheet for your next trip to the grocery store.
This is it. This is the most important rule of all. The stuff they put on the front of the box, that's just marketing. The truth is always on the back, in that little ingredient list. That's where you find out what you're really about to eat.
And here's a dead simple trick for you. When you look at that ingredient list, if sugar is one of the first 3 ingredients, just put it back. Don't even think twice. Just put it back on the shelf. It's that easy.
Look, you do not have to change your entire life overnight. Trying to be perfect is actually the enemy of making progress. The real goal is to just focus on making one single, meaningful swap today.
And if you're going to make just one change, please make it this one. Ditch those highly processed vegetable oils like canola, corn, and soybean oil. Swapping them out for extra virgin olive oil when you cook is a huge win. You're directly fighting that inflammation we now know is at the very root of heart disease.
The statistics are pretty grim. In the US, heart disease kills someone every 36 seconds. But I want to leave you with a message of real hope. This does not have to be your destiny. It is not inevitable. You have an incredible amount of power to change your own story.
It really all comes down to this single question. The food choices you make, starting with the very next thing you eat, are either building health or building disease. They're either clearing out those arteries or clogging them up. You have the knowledge now. The power is completely in your hands. So, which one are you going to choose?